documentary about Newcastle, New South Wales, Australia. Newcastle is the biggest city in New South Wales, Australia. Welcome to the documentary Newcastle of 2025. This is all the story about Newcastle, New South Wales. Newcastle was a big city ages ago. Now it used to be train line Newcastle, Wickham, all the way to Newcastle CBD. Then what happened? Newcastle trains, over lines were knocked down. Train line into and now trains with light rail to CBD. Now train line, now the train line that needs trains and needs trains. Now Newcastle airport, trains, transport and water and harbour. Newcastle is the biggest freight port in New South Wales, Australia. We have the biggest coal port here, Newcastle, and we have airport planes, Newcastle Airport, Williamstown, planes land, take off. Living in Newcastle, Australia. Welcome to the documentary Newcastle of 2025. This is all the story about Newcastle, New South Wales. Newcastle was a big city ages ago. Now there used to be train lines from Wickham all the way to Newcastle CBD. Then what happened? Newcastle trains, the overhead lines were knocked down. Train line into and now trains with light rail to CBD. Now train line, now the train line that needs trains and needs trains. Now Newcastle airport, trains, transport and water and harbour. Newcastle is the biggest freight port in New South Wales, Australia. We have the biggest coal port here, Newcastle, and we have airport planes, Newcastle Airport, Williamstown, and the planes land. Planes land and take off. Ages ago, Newcastle had train lines in the big cities. Cities had train lines, carriages, and other stuff. These means making living in Newcastle. It's a good state living in Newcastle. Newcastle has trains, light rail, ferries. about Newcastle, New South Wales. Newcastle was a big city ages ago. But now there used to be train lines Newcastle, Wickham, all the way to Newcastle CBD. Then London, Newcastle train, trains and the interchange. Now Newcastle airport, trains, transport and water and harbour. Newcastle is the biggest freight port in New South Wales, Australia. We have the biggest coal port here in Newcastle, and we have airport planes. Airport, Newcastle Airport, Williamstown, and the planes land. Planes land and take off. There are the bus base in Williamstown, in the airport. There's also Newcastle, lots of stops, lots of places, and lots of areas. Newcastle, New South Wales. Now let's talk about the history of Newcastle. Ages ago, Newcastle had train lines in the big cities. Cities had train lines, carriages, and other stuff. Living in Newcastle. It's a good state living in Newcastle. Newcastle had trains, light rail, ferries, bridges, the railway tracks, the beaches. Newcastle is the biggest city in New South Wales, Australia. Welcome to the documentary Newcastle of 2025. This is all the story about Newcastle, New South Wales. Newcastle was a big city ages ago. Now there used to be train lines, Newcastle, Wickham, airport planes, airport, Newcastle Airport, Williamstown, where the planes land, and take off. There are the bus base in Williamstown near the airport. Documentary about Newcastle, New South Wales, Australia. Newcastle is the biggest city in New South Wales, Australia. Welcome to the documentary Newcastle of 2025. This is all the story about Newcastle, New South Wales. Newcastle was a big city ages ago. Now there used to be train lines, Newcastle, Wickham, all the way to lots of shops, lots of places, and lots of areas. Newcastle, New South Wales. Now let's talk about the history of Newcastle. Ages ago, Newcastle had train lines in the big cities. The cities had train lines, carriages, and other stuff. Living in Newcastle is a good day. Living in Newcastle. Newcastle has trains, the light rail, the ferries, the bridges, the railway tracks, the beaches. Commentary about Newcastle, New South Wales, Australia. Newcastle is the biggest city in New South Wales, Australia. Welcome to the documentary Newcastle of 2025. This is all the story about Newcastle, New South Wales. Newcastle was a big city ages ago. Now, there used to be train lines to Newcastle, Wickham, all the way to Newcastle CBD. Then what happened? Newcastle trains, urban lines and off down, trains, train lines and now trains with light rail to CBD. Now train lines and now the train lines are these trains and these trains. Now Newcastle the airport, trains, transport, and water. Newcastle the biggest freight port in New South Wales, Australia. We have the biggest port in New South Wales. We have airport planes, Newcastle Airport, Williamstown, where the planes land. When planes land and take off. There are the rough base, Williamstown near the airport. There's also Newcastle, lots of shops, lots of places, and lots of areas. Newcastle, New South Wales. Now let's talk about the history of Newcastle. Ages ago, Newcastle had train lines in the big cities. The cities had train lines, carriages, and other stuff. We experienced living in Newcastle all day. Living in Newcastle has trains, light rail, ferries, bridges, railway tracks, the beaches. carriages and other stuff. Experience of the big living in Newcastle. It's a good state living in Newcastle because Newcastle has the trains, the light rail, the ferries, the bridges, the railway tracks, the beaches,